Decades ago, scientists at the Black Mesa research facility opened an interdimensional rift to a border world known as Zen. Expeditions sent to this strange and dangerous plane of existence recovered bizarre creatures and exotic matter of tremendous potential. At the height of what would come to be known as the Black Mesa incident, this rift began to expand out of control following a disastrous resonance cascade. Every attempt to close it failed, until it was eventually realized that it was being held open from the other side. An impossibly powerful being had also arrived on Zen, and it was consumed by an incalculable will to escape from the border world and arrive on Earth. Only after its death would it be realized that this creature, the Nihilanth, was not driven by desires for conquest or subjugation, but simple desperation. It was the last of its species, hunted to extinction by a far more terrifying enemy its kind had encountered in whatever realm in which they once existed. Zen was merely a place the Nihilanth had found to hide from the overwhelming power of the Combine. There is no word in any human vocabulary that might adequately define the breadth of the Combine. It exists and dominates multiple parallel universes, and has aligned or enslaved countless alien races to its vision. If it possesses what might be considered a government, economy, or even society, they exist in forms beyond the limits of human understanding. Instead, the Combine is best characterized by the methods it employs in the acquisition of other worlds. The Combine were able to arrive on Earth through the manipulation of portal storms that occurred across the planet in the wake of the Black Mesa incident. Already overwhelmed by these storms, Earth's military forces and all other local resistance were soundly defeated in a relatively minor conflict known as the 7-Hour War. Upon the global surrender of humanity negotiated by the former administrator of Black Mesa, Dr. Wallace Breen, Combine forces spread across the planet to facilitate their rule. Dr. Breen was publicly appointed as the Combine's representative on Earth, but he served only as a puppet ruler, fulfilling directives issued to him by so-called Combine advisors. Large, pale, grub-like creatures, these advisors seem to possess immense telepathic and telekinetic abilities. They are extremely intelligent and adept at leading lesser forms of Combine life in all manner of tasks. While their psychic and mental abilities are exceptionally formidable, their physical prowess is almost non-existent. Most seemed unable to survive in Earth's natural environment, and instead relied on devices that appear to function similarly to a gas mask. Combine advisors have slowly adapted to life on Earth, however, and their manner of life support systems have been gradually abandoned. It is the Combine's adaptability that is perhaps the core element of their superiority. Standard Combine strategy is based on genetically manipulating a target planet's own dominant species to form a new arm of their military. This ensures that the Combine garrisons are always at their most effective regardless of the local environment they find themselves operating in, using a target race's own strengths against them. Species manipulated by the Combine that prove resourceful or particularly effective will often be redeployed across the whole of their empire, given assignments or objectives for which they are uniquely suited. Combine technology is also based on this type of versatility. On Earth, military forces known as the transhuman arm of the Combine Overwatch utilize small arms, armored vehicles, trains, and helicopters, all based on human models, but redesigned for greater efficiency. These serve alongside other vehicles and machines of clearly non-human origin, likely derived from other enslaved civilizations. Many of these are biomechanical in origin, the result of both local and alien technology and biomatter re-engineered by the Combine. Combine technology is also heavily utilized in their occupation of Earth, and likely every other world on which they have arrived. Their most prominent element is a type of suppression field which serves to inhibit human reproduction. By preventing certain protein chains from forming that are vital to human embryonic development, the global birth rate has been reduced to 0, ensuring that there will be no further generations of humanity. Mind control is also predominant through the use of various psychoengineering terminals and perhaps drugs disseminated in local water supplies. This ensures the complete loyalty of the Combine Overwatch, but also helps prevent local unrest or rebellion by removing the original memories of the Combine's invasion. Through this type of forced re-education, the local populace is more willing to accede to the Combine's demands. This was supplemented by propaganda, which relied heavily on positive imagery and broadcasts to misdirect the local populace to the Combine's intentions. They were frequently referred to as our benefactors, a compassionate race that promised to elevate humanity to a position of equality within a great universal union. Whether their primary goal is to deplete the Earth of its resources, or if this is only a side effect of their occupation, the planet has been fundamentally transformed by the presence of the Combine. The Earth's ocean levels have dropped dramatically, with water transported off-world by an immense interdimensional portal. Toxic waste, the result of unrelenting Combine activity, has left major portions of the planet uninhabitable to human life, and is perhaps the first stage in a global terraforming process. What remains of human civilization is concentrated in a few remaining urban centers, renamed with numerical designations. These are heavily modified by the Combine, with buildings and neighborhoods altered with the intention of restricting citizen movement and facilitating widespread surveillance. Conditions here are poor, with few, if any, luxuries. Only those who have volunteered to join the Combine willingly can escape this level of squalor, and are granted additional food, better housing, an increase in authority, and access to reproductive simulations in exchange for their service. Such volunteers are organized into auxiliary units in the Combine Overwatch, known as Civil Protection, and conduct periodic raids on their fellow citizens. City 17 was the center of Combine activity on Earth, home to an enormous skyscraper known as the Citadel. The site of both local Combine leadership and various munitions factories, the Citadel had been the primary target of human resistance forces since the end of the 7-Hour War. The emergence of a Black Mesa scientist, a man believed to have died in the Black Mesa incident, proved critical in the fulfillment of this mission. Through his actions, the Citadel was destroyed, the suppression field deactivated, and the Earth itself given a brief respite from the dominion of the Combine. It remains only a matter of time before the overwhelming power of the Combine returns to Earth, but the key to their defeat may have already been uncovered. Despite their highly advanced technological capabilities, they possess only a limited grasp of teleportation. While capable of transitioning from one universe to another, they cannot teleport within the same dimension. Discoveries in Black Mesa before its destruction would be invaluable to the Combine, and the survival of humanity might depend on the Resistance finding these secrets first. That the remnants of a defeated people might possibly challenge a force as all-encompassing as the Combine seems outright impossible, but twice before events have transpired that fundamentally altered the course of existence. Hope is fading that such an event might happen for a third time, but the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. The Templin Institute investigates alternate worlds and realities. If you've enjoyed this video and would like to directly support us, vote in polls to determine future topics, and receive some cool rewards, please consider pledging to our Patreon page.